I'm so excited to see the Emoji Movie.
I'm not. I'm just here because you paid for snacks.
Whatever. We still have to watch the previews, so...
Let's just get them over with.
Harriet Tubman, live from the Civil War. I just sent out my troops to go see where the Confederates are. It turns out my experience on the Underground Railroad has helped me a lot, for I know the land better than anyone else. I can't wait to see the Confederates' faces once they find out that former slaves have outsmarted them. This is Harriet Tubman here to tell the Confederates that the fight is on. I will not give up until black children are treated the same as white children. I grew up like a neglected weed, ignorant of liberty, having no experience.
Frederick Douglass was one of the most influential figures of the 1800s. His speeches and writings against slavery were famous and strengthened the abolition movement. And when the Civil War began, he continued his fight for equality.
My narrative of my life as a slave has helped inspire this war. Now I have to make sure that we win and that slavery is abolished forever.
You have to include black troops in the Union's army.
That may be too extreme, Mr. Douglas.
Then we'll lose young men that'll help the Union win the war.
We have to make emancipation a major goal of the war, Senator.
Don't you understand? Our goal is not to get rid of slavery. Our main goal is just to keep the Union and the nation together.
Why do you think we separated in the first place?
This Emancipation Proclamation, I, Abraham Lincoln, hereby declare that all slaves in the Confederate States are free, and that African Americans can join the Union's military.
Woot! I know that it's tough to fight, and I know that we're all still treated unfairly, but we have to join in the battle to free others from the tyranny of the South. The chance is now given you to end in a day of bondage of centuries, to rise in one bound from social degradation to the plane of common equality with all other variety of men. Black soldiers still don't have equal pay, all while having worse treatment?
Will you ever stop protesting? Are you even going to be satisfied?
Not until everyone is free and equal.
Mr. Douglas, we have to make a plan for if we lose the Civil War. We need to be prepared to help slaves escape up to the north.
Yes, I understand.
So, how do you feel about the Confiscation Acts?
I think they're really good. I mean, the slaves that will be able to be laborers for the army will really help the cause.
Yeah, but I don't like how they talk about slaves as property and contraband of war.
That's a good point. I find that morally repulsive. So, how do you think?
Oh, I'm so mad about slavery! I can't believe that the South thinks it's right!
Abe, you're not yourself when you're hungry. How are Snickers?
You're right. I need to calm down and I need to think about what and use my anger to win this war.
What's this? Jumanji? Slavery edition?
What's up with the small dice?
Yeah, we have budget cuts because of the Civil War. Slavery is present for the rest of the game.
Guys, please help me. I've been stuck in this game since I was born.
Get back to work.
You need to end the game. It's hurting too many people.
But I feel like if we end the game, then we'll lose the border states. I don't think it's a good idea.
We need to argue that it's a military necessity, and if we do this, we can have African Americans help us fight. We need to end this now. This magical game board is creating a peculiar institution, and this has to end. I must write the Emancipation Proclamation. I do order and declare that all persons held as slaves within said designated states and parts of states are, and henceforth shall be, free, and that the executive government of the United States, including the military and naval authorities thereof, shall recognize and maintain the freedom of said persons. With my Emancipation Proclamation, I finally destroyed this board game and the slavery that goes with it.
Actually, no you didn't. Since I was the only slave in the game, you really only freed me. And since your proclamation applies only to the enslaved people residing in the Confederate States outside the Union control, it will immediately free only about 1% of slaves.
Yes, but with this Confiscation Act, which says that any Confederate property that the Union finds, we can take over, and that includes slaves. And if we combine that with my Emancipation Proclamation, that means we have African Americans that will help us fight and win the Civil War and free all the slaves.
Well, slavery still exists elsewhere.
Yes, in other board games, but for now, we've destroyed this one.
Everybody loves the 60s. The 1860s.
Thanks to Lincoln's new Emancipation Proclamation, I can finally get more Union soldiers by signing on the African Americans. That's right, I shall call this the 54th Massachusetts Regiment Infantry. Robert Gould Shaw, I'm going to make you the commander of this Regiment Infantry.
What?
These soldiers work just as hard as anybody else. They deserve to be paid the same amount.
Sir,
Yes, what is it?
I have news of the 54th Regiment.
What happened?
There were 339 casualties.
Ugh, no. So, William H. Carney, I, President Lincoln, am pleased to award to you the first African American recipient, the Medal of Honor for your work in the 54th Massachusetts Regiment Infantry. Congratulations, sir.
Thank you, sir.
State your name for the record.
William A. Jackson.
A slave to Jefferson Davis and a spy?
We have a mission for you. We need more information about the supply routes of the Confederate Army.
Is that clear?
Yes, sir. There were many more spies, just like him.
What will you do if they catch you? What will you become?
This is the Civil War, isn't it? I'm a spy.
You will now be quizzed on African Americans during the Civil War, based on all the previews you just watched.
Are we seriously getting quizzed on movie trailers right now?
What the heck? Now I want to watch the Emoji Movie.
Gosh.